Deep in the Belgian Ardennes lies one of the world's greatest racetracks. 2 words, Spa-Francorchamps, enough to set the hair on end, whether you're a fan, a team member, or especially a driver. It's recognised as one of the greatest challenges in motorsport, and it's the venue for round 3 of the FIA World Endurance Championship. The first time the teams return to a track of which they have knowledge in this 2024 season, will that change the balance of power? And how will they leave here, heading to Le Mans for round 4? For now, 19 hypercar teams and 18 LMGT3s are preparing for battle of one of the world's greatest motorsporting stages. And in front of more than 88,000 fans, another record crowd in this searing season of endurance racing. Expectations are high and the atmosphere is electric. Fastest in qualifying, Antonio Fuoco in Ferrari number 50, but with a new rear bodywork section proving to make the car underweight, it was disqualified and would start at the back of the 19-car hypercar field. Fastest qualifier in LMGT3, Sarah Bovey's Iron Dames Lamborghini. She left the rest breathless in her wake. United Autosport's second quickest, Josh Cahill, that car too underweight, relegated to the back of the field. And the car that would lead them away from pole position, Penske's 100th sports car racing pole, claimed by the number 5 machine, Matt Campbell at the wheel. The final pre-race ceremonies concluded. Drivers heading to their cars. It's about to get real in Spa. Fred Makovic on the left of the picture, leading them to the line. The 6 hours of Spa underway. The blue Cadillac of Alex Lynn on the outside. And from row 2, the white nose of Julian Andlauer's 99 Proton Porsche, trying to go inside the Cadillac, who is having a little look at the race leader. Didn't get the lead. Dustin gets second place as they race down to Eau Rouge for the first time. Red Ferrari, Antonio Giovinazzi side by side with the yellow one of Robert Kubica, and he squeezes through. That's impressive control by both men on cold tyres. And Will Stevens pulls out of the slipstream as well, looking for 4th place in the gold Hertz Team Jota Porsche. Cannot get by the number 6 Penske machine. Lawrence Vantor right ahead of us. He hangs on in 4th position as they come through Les Combes for the first time. The yellow Ferrari a little slow there. He's got a Toyota right behind and somebody's in the gravel. That's the first of the 2 BMWs, Rene Rast. Down to the first corner, 4 wide behind the leaders, and still there's no debris on the track. That's an astonishingly clean start. This tight right-hand hairpin at La Source is so often a pinch point, but they all got through. Remarkable. With Nico Lapierre exiting Les Combes, that's René Rast on cold tyres just running out of road. Starting from the back of the grid, the number 50 Ferrari. This is Niklas Nielsen. He got by Paul Di Resta's Peugeot earlier on, but Di Resta comes back at him, exiting the bus stop, back up into 16th place. A long way from the points yet, but Nielsen on a determined recovery drive. Right behind that battle is the lime green Iron Lynx run Lamborghini. We're with Danny Kvyat out of La Source. Full throttle down the hill into Eau Rouge, but with full tanks, even on new tyres, that is not a flat-out corner with these cars. Porsche, Cadillac, Porsche, that's the top three. The Penske car, red and white, with the blue nose, that is Alex Lynn in the Cadillac, and right behind him, Julian Andlauer in the 91 Proton Porsche. But racing away at the front of the field in LMGT3 is Sarah Bovey. She showed them a clean pair of heels in qualifying, and she is translating that into crushing race pace. The battle for second in LMGT3. Last year's pole sitter here in the GTE AM class, Ahmed Al-Hati. That was in an Aston Martin. Here he's in the BMW. But James Cottingham, the historic car dealer, has cut back on the inside. This is a classic La Source move. Force your rival to brake shallow and late, and then cut back underneath. Julian Andlauer right behind Alex Lynn for second place. Cadillac started with their first ever front row start in World Endurance, but are about to lose second. Andlauer goes through. Is Alex Lynn saving tyres already on that Caddy? Battle here between two Porsches. Hertz Team Jota's 38 car Phil Hansen being passed for 15th place there by the Ferrari. Jenson Button, his teammate, watching on in the garage. And here is Julian Andlauer now, right on the tail of the race leader, trying to go around the outside. They've got a slower car in the way. Andlauer boxed in. That's great racing by Julian Andlauer, but great use of traffic by Fred Makovici. Back with Alex Lynn. He's losing places. Look, the Ferrari has gone by as well. Alex Lynn down to 7th place. The Cadillac is struggling on its tyres very early in this race. The red and yellow Ferraris and the Hertz Team Jota number 12 car have all gone by him.
Keep going, Alex, keep going. We're playing the long game here.
Tyre life is going to be a deciding factor in this race. Track temperature over 30 degrees. The medium tyres are really going to struggle for life, so you must look after them early on or you will pay the penalty later. An aggressive start to the race from a lot of these drivers, but what is that going to mean in the long run?
So mate, are we okay?
Confirm floor damage. It's just floor damage. Nothing we can do, so we carry on like this. It is safe to carry on.
So Nick Nielsen's obviously been over the curb somewhere. That's not stopping him attacking the Toyota number 7 of Mike Conway. Conway right behind the pair of BMWs. That's René Rast number 20 car in front of us. BMW looking more competitive here after a good weekend in Imola. And there's the Toyota stuck behind the second place car in LMGT3, the McLaren. And that will slow him up the Kemmel Straight. And here comes the Ferrari, full steam ahead. Great opportunity for Niklas Nielsen. He goes steaming by the Toyota. And Conway powerless to resist on this long, steep uphill climb to Les Combes. Race leader Fred Makovici under real pressure from Julian Andlauer. Now their tyres were both new at the start of the race, but Andlauer was in the turbulent air behind the Cadillac and now in the turbulent air behind the race leader. It's fabulous, aggressive driving from Andlauer, but is he building in problems for later in the double stint?
It's got no grip, guys. Just sheer grip limits.
Copy. Halfway through the stint.
Well, halfway through, presumably a double stint on the tyres. Alex Lynn with very little grip. But here is Charles Milesi in the better of the two Alpine. Now, the Alpine only in its third race, but having a really much better showing here at Spa, taking 7th place away. Race leaders at the bus stop, and there's been a change. That's Julian Andlauer in front. The number 5 car, Fred Makovici, is second. There's a GT car right behind them. Has Makovici been caught in traffic? Yes, look at the Lexus. Fred Mako goes a long way around the outside. Julian Andlauer somehow manages to make the Porsche narrow enough to go up the inside. Wow, look at this from on board. Oh, LMGT3 battle at La Source. Ian James in the blue. Oh, and Alex Malikin throws it up the inside of the Corvette of Tom Van Rompuy. And a change for third, just in front. The orange and black Porsche of Yasser Shaheen goes by Ahmed El-Hati in that black and white BMW. Then Ian James in the blue Aston Martin. And Alex Malikin drops back behind the Corvette of Tom Van Rompuy, the local driver. Take a look at this at the bus stop a moment or two ago. The two Porsche Penske Motorsport cars, second and third, but Lawrence Vantor outbraking himself, running into the runoff area, and right behind the Ferrari. Antonio Giovinazzi around the outside of the number 6 Penske Porsche for third place. That car started 10th on the grid, the 51 car. The three Ferraris are absolutely flying. It is all about Ferrari and Porsche at the moment, with an Alpine in the top half dozen and the Cadillac in 8th. Fifth place battle in LMGT3. Ian James in the Aston Martin under pressure from the Corvette and Tom Van Rompuy. And look at the Porsche. Alexander Malikin threw it up the inside of Van Rompuy a few laps ago at La Source. Hits the Corvette, didn't get the place, but he's got by the Corvette. I think he's getting by the Aston Martin as well. He's in the right place on the right line. Ian James, very brave under braking, keeps his nose in front for now. First round of pit stops for LMGT3. There go the Iron Dames. They're come and gone already. McLaren in, the BMW in, everybody following. And it's Hypercar stop time as well. Now, who takes tyres? Who needs tyres? Hopefully they'll get by with fuel only. Doesn't look like tyres are ready for the Cadillac. So Alex Lynn is going to have to struggle on the set he's got. 99 Proton Porsche, the race leader, Julian Andlauer, hits his marks. What a great opening stint from Andlauer. Oh, trouble there for BMW. A little bit of confusion. That'll cost them vital seconds in the pit lane. Number 6, Lawrence Vantor. Well, we saw him having a little bit of problem out braking himself. Looks like he's looking for a new steering wheel. My brakes don't work. Can you fix the horn, please? I'm not sure what's going on with that, but he is definitely getting a replacement steering wheel for the car. Look at him wide-eyed as he gets ready to go out. Adrenaline's a fantastic thing, isn't it? Battle for second place, Fred Makovici in the pole, starting number 5 Porsche, and right behind him Antonio Giovinazzi's got a better run out of Eau Rouge and all the way up the Kemmel Straight, sweeps around the outside, 10th to 2nd so far for the 51 Ferrari, and the 50 car that started 19th is well up the order as well in 6th position. The 83 car, the yellow Ferrari, in 4th, but it is still Proton's Porsche that leads the race. What about this for a shot? That is the story of the Iron Dames in a class of their own in LMGT3. Cadillac driver Alex Lynn right behind Phil Hansen's gold Hurst Team Jota 38 car, taking 10th place away, starting to recover the ground lost in the first stint. This is encouraging for the Cadillac team.
At the start of the race, we took a quali set, and everyone's going to have to take that pain at the beginning. So Alex got that task, and we got them out of the way, and now he's got good speed. So it's quite entertaining right now watching.
Oh, that's trouble. That's Phil Hansen and Ahmed El-Hati's BMW. What's happened here? Contact between the two coming down to Bruxelles, and both of them badly damaged, it would seem, as well as stuck off the track. I think Valentino Rossi already spots that he's not likely to get a drive, and that might be the end of the road for 38, the Jota car as well.
Oh, lift and coast. Rast drove into me. We're out.
Lift and coast. Rast drove into me. This is René Rast's BMW right behind Hansen. He's lifting to save fuel down into Bruxelles, gets fired off by René Rast, who's caught out. And then, unfortunately, the 46 BMW gets tagged into the spin as well. And they are out of the race. And there is René Rast's BMW with a bit of the Jota car stuck to the front. The Mark 1 human eyeball is appropriating blame there, I think. Race leader into the pits, Proton Porsche. Great opening stint by Julian Andlauer and Neil Jarni. They're only a 2-driver lineup this weekend, but Jarni equally capable. And what an opportunity for this small privateer team. Might we yet see the first privateer win in Hypercar? Virtual safety car is out. Everybody fueling and taking tyres if they need it. Neil Jarni. Oh no, the door won't close. If it doesn't close, he might have to come back into the pit lane, and that will take away the lead.
Don't use the cable to pull the door. Yeah, on this one and hard. On the red one, take the red one if you want. You can grab the red thing to close the door hard.
So that little red loop on the door is what the driver's supposed to use in an emergency to slam the door. But when he's doing it, it looks like the lock's not catching. Well, it looks like the door has closed now finally. Wow.
We decided to do driver change and to put Neil in the car, and on the outlap, I don't know, he couldn't close the door. I mean, the door was open, and I mean, it took 2 laps for him to close the door, and he finally made it. So that was a big, roller coaster. So yeah, finally it's okay. So now we just focus again in the race and try to stay in the same position.
Track workers fixing the barriers that had that impact down at Bruxelles. And behind the safety car, lots of teams ready for driver changes. The minimum drive time for the bronzes has elapsed. Sarabovi hands over the leading car to Rahal Frey. The Iron Dames dominant so far in LMGT3. Is this going to be their day? Everybody else making fast stops and driver changes as well. It's so important that the team are on the money and don't lose any time in the pit lane. McLaren ahead of the Iron Dames Lamborghini, and that is a change in the pit lane for the lead in LMGT3.
The car is really nice to drive, and I know that Rael and Michi will push to the max. Of course, would have been nicer to come in with that gap still there, but that's racing. I mean, we cannot anticipate those kind of things. I hope everybody is okay. I didn't see the drivers from that contact, but yeah, obviously, the race is still long, and I hope that they can keep up a good pace and fight out there with the other cars. Yeah.
Unfortunately for the Iron Dames, the safety car wiped out Sarah's enormous lead, and they are now second in the class. Proton leading overall, Toyota struggling a little bit though, 9th and 10th. This is Ryo Hirakawa in the number 8 car.
We try to go for a double stint just to save the tyres for later in the race. So you want to have the best tyre possible at the end of the race, obviously, especially if there is a safety car. But yeah, so it's difficult, and you have to go long with some of the tyres, so it means a lot of deg, and you've got to manage that.
Back to green flag racing after 40 minutes of safety car barrier repairs, and it is Neil Jarni who leads. In second place, James Collado in the Ferrari. Third place, Michael Christensen. Oh, and the yellow Ferrari, that is Ye Yifei, jumps in front of car number 50, Miguel Molina. So he moves up a spot, or at least holds that position. The top half dozen, all Porsche and Ferrari. The best of the rest, the Alpine there, the blue car in 7th place, and Toyota at the bottom of the top 10. Here's the battle between the two Ferraris. This is for 5th position, and again around the outside, Miguel Molina goes by Ye Yifei, and now looking up the inside of number 6 Porsche. Didn't get by Andre Lotterer there. Now drops a little back towards his yellow teammate Ye Yifei. On board with the Lamborghini, this is Andrea Caldarelli, first time out in the car, and Raffaele Marcello in the number 15 BMW. They're having a little bit of a stronger run. Imola, of course, they were knocked off in the first corner, so it was a tough weekend. But the Lamborghini now under pressure from the Peugeot behind. Mikkel Jensen with a really good run up the Camel Straight. He's still there on the inside, still there, goes through for 14th place. LMGT3 lead battle, and look, the Iron Dame's back in front for the moment, but no, Nicolas Costa in the McLaren goes back around the outside of Rahal Frey at Le Combe, and so retakes the lead of the class. Zach Robichon right behind in the turquoise Mustang. Very close, the Mustang having a good race so far. The Aston Martin in fourth, on board with the Iron Dames, getting a great run through Eau Rouge, up the Kemmel Straight, steams by, tucks back in, and immediately late on the brakes, super late from the Brazilian driver. Nicolas Costa comes back around, there's a tiny bit of contact, not quite wide enough for two fat LMGT3 cars.
So information, you are building a gap to everybody else, apart from the car behind, so no problem, they are killing their tyres.
Rahal Frey on the attack again, chasing Nicolas Costa. She got a good run through Eau Rouge once more. Here we go, up the straight. Costa on the inside, forces her to go wide the long way round, but that's where the grip is. She just closes in, and around she goes, takes the lead once more for the Iron Dames. Harter Racing right there with the Aston Martin.
I think we've found a way to manage the tyres really well through the double stint, and it had good pace. We have a slight engine concern that has meant that we've had to sort of back off slightly, which I think is why you see the Lamborghini has such good pace in comparison. It's not just the Lamborghini's faster, it's we're pegged back slightly, but let's see if we can keep the pace together and have a bit of luck come our way.
Eau Rouge, replay of a three-car LMGT3 battle. Erwin Bastard in the 777D station car being passed off track by Clement Schmidt in the Lexus. Didn't really make much effort to use the road there, and contact. Sebastian Bode with a puncture as a result of that contact with the D station Aston. Bad news for the Corvette team. Lamborghini, big lock up there for the Lamborghini at Ooh. What's wrong? Has he got a puncture or is something broken? The Lamborghini bouncing around there. Will Stevens under pressure in the number 12 Jota car. This is for 7th place, and Earl Bamber around the outside with a massive head of steam. Must have had a really good run down through Eau Rouge, and he moves ahead of the Hertz team Jota car. Andrea Caldarelli has brought the Lamborghini back, but the team believe it's got broken right rear suspension, and that might be game over. On board with Nick de Vries, recovering from a drive-through penalty for a virtual safety car infringement. The Toyota moving up closer to the points as he gets ahead of Mikkel Jensen for 13th place. The winners last time out in Imola are struggling here. But have Toyota played a long game? Will they have tyres to use late in the race? Approaching the 3-hour mark, halfway through, and it is still all about Porsche and Ferrari. Michael Christensen's Porsche chasing the red Ferrari of James Collado.
It was a great start, great first two stints. Like you mentioned, I think we have a good car. Porsche is there like as we expect. So yeah, so far so good, but still a long way to go. So we need to have a good strategy, keep the tires. That the degradation is really high here, especially in this hot Spa. But yeah, let's see what we can do it.
Battle for 6th place in LMGT3, looking back from Sean Galeo's BMW at Joel Sturm in the Manthey Pure Racing car that was so successful in the opening 2 rounds. They haven't been off the podium yet, but he's trying to ease his way down the inside, Joel Sturm. And look at this, Antonio Siravalli in the Isotta Hypercar. How did he find room to make it 3 wide there, in side by side into Eau Rouge, and Sean Galeo hanging on there, but look at the speed that he took through that. Trouble, Christensen, that's the number 5 Porsche, and that has had a heavy impact with the wall right up by the bus stop. On board, gets away from him over the curbs, absolutely flat out in 7th gear, and hits the wall hard. The tail stepped out, he didn't have room to gather it up, and surely that's too much damage for the 3rd place car to continue. Full course yellow. What a sad end to the race for Michael Christensen and the number 5 Porsche. Halfway through, Proton lead from a pair of factory Ferraris. It is still all about Porsche versus Ferrari. And the Iron Dames retain the lead in LMGT3, but only just narrowly. Such a crazy race so far. And in the second half, are we going to see different tyre strategies changing the balance of power? The Lamborghini looks to be out, so too 38 and 46.
Full course yellow removed.
Everybody back onto the throttle immediately, and great restart from Nicolas Costa trying to pile the pressure on the Iron Dames, but Rahul Frey had the inside line. She knew it was coming, positioned the car well, made the McLaren driver work extra hard to try and get that place back, but he's now right in the slipstream. Little dab of the brakes going into Eau Rouge to settle the Lamborghini, and it looks like Rahul Frey's got enough. On board with Earl Bamber away from the restart, challenging the 83 car. Yi Yifei, the Chinese driver for Frey, of course, and Bamber goes around the outside for 5th. The recovery drive well underway. Cadillac took the pain of used tyres at the beginning. Oh, here's a challenge for the lead. James Collado sweeps around the outside of Neil Jani's Proton Porsche, and Ferrari lead for the first time here, just after the halfway mark at Spa. Well, there was a GT3 Lexus there, and I suspect that probably was in just the wrong place for Neil Jani going through Eau Rouge. You can see the Lexus there. Yeah, Jani must have had to lift on the exit, but no such problems for the Ferrari, and James Collado pedal to the metal around the outside for the lead. Busy restart, Earl Bamber here, replay of him going by Andre Lotterer for 4th position in the Cadillac. Could Cadillac win this? There's Earl Bamber in the number 2 Caddy. Everybody in Hypercar except for the Peugeot and the BMW needing fuel soon. In comes the race leader for the first time. And that means Neil Jani continues for one more lap. So does the 50 Ferrari. And it looks like they brought the 51 car in a lap early, so they're not double stacking their team cars. Alessandro Pierguidi walks round to take over from James Collado. Race leaders in, 99 Proton Porsche. Neil Jani stays in. Not opening the door, funnily enough. And the mechanic on the far side is, just to top up the drinks bottle. In comes the remaining Porsche Penske Motorsport 963, Miguel Molina, handing over to Antonio Fuoco. The 93 Peugeot and 20 BMW stopped earlier. They are currently out on track, but once the pit stops shake themselves out, it will be the 51 Ferrari back at the top of the pile. There's been a change for second place in LMGT3. Maurice Schuring in the orange and black multi-EMA Porsche around the outside in the Iron Dames Lamborghini. A little bit of contact, but they get away with that. Rahul Frey defending deep, but Schuring forcing the issue. Change for the lead in LMGT3. Maurice Schuring is absolutely on fire in the multi-EMA Porsche. Orange and black leads orange and black. He's got ahead of Nicolas Costa in the 59 United Autosport McLaren. Into Eau Rouge, side by side. That is Augusto Farfus, the points leading 31 BMW, the red and white car, and the car that was destroyed in qualifying. Alex Malikian had a huge crash on the exit of Rédillon, and they had to use a replacement chassis. The rebuild was finished at 7 o'clock this morning, and now the car, look, going through Joel Sturm, trying to hang on. Augusto Farfus on the outside, though. He has that move covered, but Sturm is still there, and now he gets the advantage in the right-hander and moves up to 4th. Neil Jarni under pressure from Antonio Fuoco for second position. The Proton Porsche in trouble in traffic. Oh, cars everywhere. The Ferrari nearly collecting that Aston Martin as well. There's a Lexus in the way. Around the outside, Neil Jarni just finds some room, and Antonio Fuoco trying to follow him through. Pity the poor Lexus driver and the Aston Martin drivers as well, with the Hypercar battle for second coming steaming through. Look at this, cars everywhere, absolutely flat out on the ragged limit of adhesion here in Blanchimont. Jarni's teammate Julian Andlauer living a very tough life watching it. Antonio Fuoco goes by Neil Jarni, takes second place. There's a Ferrari in the background. I wonder if that was a contributory factor. The Ferrari up to second, the Proton Porsche down to third. Let's take a look again and see if we can work out what happened. There's Jarni in front of us. Yes, there's the AF Corsa LMGT3 Ferrari, and Jarni just having to breathe off the throttle. No such problem for Fuoco, straight by at top speed. Down to Eau Rouge comes the battle for second place in LMGT3. Nicolas Costa in the McLaren being caught by Rahal Fry in the Lamborghini. And don't forget the McLaren with that potential engine issue, but is it tyres? Is the Lamborghini better on its tyres as the stint lengthens? Whatever, Rahal Fry's got a good run and goes around the nose of Nicolas Costa to take second place. Manthey EMA still leading in LMGT3, but over 2 hours of racing yet to go here in Spa-Francorchamps. And whisper it, no sign of rain yet. Ferrari versus Porsche. Yifei going around the outside of Callum Eilert. Oh, and out brakes himself. Gains advantage going off track. Naughty, naughty. Gives it back. Well done. Just ahead of the number 8 Toyota. Driver change. Rahal Fry handing over to Michel Gatting at Iron Dames. The car coming in from second place. Fuel and 4 fresh tyres from Michel Gatting. Don't forget their enormous early lead wiped out by the safety car, but they're still in the fight. Replay here of a big lock-up from the Proton Porsche of Neil Jarni, under pressure for third place from Earl Bamber's Cadillac. The Caddy in traffic, but catching fast. And Jarni may be running into tyre trouble. Driver change at the number 6 Porsche Penske Motorsport team. Kevin Estre taking over from Andre Lotterer, still in a top 6 position before the stops. Yifei in the yellow Ferrari ahead of Callum Eilert. Callum and Will Stevens, the 2 drivers in the number 12 Jota Porsche, because Norman Nato is one of the drivers who's racing in Formula E elsewhere this weekend. Oh, Earl Bamber! And the 31 BMW, Sean Galale, a huge accident on the Camel Straight. And a massive debris field. The Cadillac is absolutely destroyed, and it looks like the BMW will go no further either. That has to be a safety car immediately. It is. Wow, what happened there? Looking back from Neil Jarni. Oh, there's Bamber tries to go around Jarni and the BMW. On board with the Caddy. There's the Porsche in front. Hits Jarni and the BMW at the same time. There just wasn't quite enough room for the long Hypercar Cadillac to get through. Huge, huge accident, and the car nearly barrel rolled at massive speed up the track. Oh. Red flag. I'm not surprised. Well, there's very good news. There's Sean Galale walking away from the wreckage of his BMW. Both WRT LMGT3 cars are out.
Earl, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Copy, thank God.
And so say all of us. The tiniest miscalculation at these phenomenal speeds. And what a disastrous outcome for Cadillac and BMW. Let's hear from Proton's Neil Jarni.
Very surprised because driving straight, get hit on the back suddenly. I stayed straight, so it seemed like he went for a gap that didn't exist. A bit for us, or sorry for the word, but we are having a good race, and yeah, I hope we don't have to fix that and we can keep going.
A massive accident for both the Cadillac and the 31 BMW. both drivers are okay. Let's hear from Sean Gelael.
I mean, I don't need to say anything. I think you guys saw I was just in the middle. I think the two guys were fighting in front and they misjudged. And sometimes the misjudgment could lead to bigger things.
Incredibly, we will go racing again here in Spa.
Information to pit lane. First of all, thank you for your patience. We will resume the race behind the safety car. So team managers, please check if your cars are eligible or not for the pass around.
Alessandro Pierguidi and the Ferrari team might not be happy, but the fans definitely are. We get ready to go. They will start again behind the safety car, but a lot of cars are desperate for fuel. The number 6 Penske Porsche, the number 12 Cota car have both stopped just before the red flags. But almost everybody else, look at the energy there, will have to stop very soon. So this is going to really change the face of the race. Behind the safety car, a 5-second fuel stop is permissible in extremis, and the Ferraris are not alone in having to take this. They will then have to stop under green to fill up their tanks. This is going to be a very interesting race on strategy. No tyre changes permitted, no driver changes.
If pace car comes in this lap, what do? I come in. Energy alarm.
Whatever we box now. Safety car or not safety car, box, and driver change.
And it's the top half dozen cars that are all in the same situation. As we go green, they all file into the pit lane. And that means suddenly that number 12, number 6 are going to be right up at the lead order. Everybody else having to stop under green, even if they had emergency fuel behind the safety car. We go back racing, an hour and a half left. Iron Dames, United Autosports and Vista AF Corsa, the top 3. Iron Dames and United had just stopped, but have they got enough fuel to get to the end? The answer has to be no, surely. But the Iron Dames lead in LMGT3 for now. 51 Ferrari back in the pit lane. Well, Ferrari almost came away with a 1-2 result, but the way the safety car fell has not gone well for them. They had to fuel briefly behind the safety car and now have to go again. And that means Callum Eilert and this man, Kevin Escht, are now 1-2. Is this going to be a Porsche 1-2? Is this going to be a win for the number 6 Porsche Penske team? Or could Hertz Team Cota, a year on from rolling out their privateer Porsche for the very first time here at Spa, take the glory? Julian Andler back in the 99 Proton Porsche. They didn't have to pit for damage. He goes around the outside of Mikkel Jensen's Peugeot, but this is only for 8th place. Don't forget how long the 99 car was in the lead of the race. And Julian Andlau looking just as aggressive at the end here as at the beginning. 2 wheels on the grass. Iron Dames Michel Gatting leading from Gregoire Saucy in United Autosports McLaren right behind, and Davide Rigon, the platinum driver in that 54 AF Corsa Ferrari, in 3rd place, but he is hunting them down. This might be an LMGT3 win for Ferrari yet. Ferrari versus Toyota at the bottom of the screen. Ferrari versus Toyota at the top of the screen as well. And Alessandro Pierguidi going by Brendan Hartley just ahead of him. A change for 3rd place as well. Antonio Fuoco getting the better of Kamui Kobayashi. Well, Kamui Kobayashi and Brendan Hartley in the Toyotas looking a lot stronger late in the race than they were early on. But here's Paul-Luc Chatin. Behind him, Julian Andlauer. Chatin in the Alpine in 7th place. For how long? Not that much longer, I think. Julian Andlauer almost touching as they go down to Eau Rouge. On the inside, phenomenal aggressive racing from Andlauer. One of the stars of the race, without question. Breathtaking. Just look at this. Gets the side draft. The car's almost pulled together. Julian Andlauer continues the assault. Brendan Hartley dives to the inside there of Hartley. How did he get in so tight, and how does he keep the speed up? Again, the side-by-side pass down into Eau Rouge. LMGT3 Ferrari in front, and he still squeezes through. If he doesn't get held up here, then that's a done deal. LMGT3 battle, Davide Rigon once more on the attack. He and Ritomo Miata in that 78 Lexus have both just pitted. In the slipstream, to the inside, classic Spa pass. Race leader Callum Eilert from the Penske Porsche by nearly 4 seconds, an hour to go here in Spa.
Okay, mate, 9 laps to go, 9 to go. Do you think you are happy to carry on with these tires? Question?
They feel quite hot on the rear.
LMGT3 leaders are in the pit lane. This is the 59 McLaren. Gregoire Saucy taking fuel. Will he have tyres as well? Looks like they are ready for a full tyre change. And the Iron Dames, 3% fuel, they're forced in as well. Now, don't forget, these two cars stopped earlier than the rest before the safety car. Oh no, they've dropped the car and the tilt wheel's not on. Disaster for the Iron Dames. Still not on. Gonna have to try a different wheel nut. Yes, they are. Is this the end of the race? They've got to get that wheel on. Now they're good to go. Off goes Michel Gatting, but look at the time they lost there. Replay at La Source. Oh, Michel Gatting hit by Kamui Kobayashi right behind Alessandro Pierguidi's Ferrari. Look in the mirror. Look how close the Ferrari gets as we hit the Lamborghini. From above, there's the black Toyota, there's the Lamborghini. I don't know where Kamui Kobayashi thought the Lamborghini was going. Bits of debris there. But that could have been the end of the race for the Toyota and the Ferrari. Battle for 7th place. The Alpine of Paul-Luc Chatin, Robert Schwartzman in the yellow Ferrari. Going either side of the McLaren. No, there was no room on the inside for the Ferrari. Or at least he didn't want to risk it, perhaps wisely in the final hour of the race. Don't want to pick up damage or a penalty. Iron Dames battling for 7th place. Michel Gatting ahead of Dennis Olsen in the first of the two Mustangs. This is how the pass happened around the outside at La Source, but a much more convincing showing for the two Mustangs here. Race leader in the pits, Callum Eilert, taking on fuel. And is this going to be a full tyre change or no, left sides only? Well, this is a gamble, a shorter pit stop. Fresh tyres on the hard-used left-hand side, but not so fresh on the right. Antonio Fuoco for Ferrari, with the number 6 Porsche right behind. Yeah, the Jota team look happy with that. Kevin Estre all over the back of Antonio Fuoco's Ferrari and goes through. Kevin Estre with 4 fresh tyres on the Penske Porsche at the last stop. Didn't get the better of Fuoco there. Antonio hangs on the inside, but here comes Estre once more. Better grip out of La Source. Better traction means faster acceleration, and he does get by down the hill. But the Ferrari has got phenomenal top-end speed, especially with a good toe. Can he come back at him? A little over half an hour to go here in Spa. Alessandro Pierguidi in the pit lane and dropping to the bottom of the top 10 now. Down to 8th place after that stop. 2 left tyres going on. Almost everybody in Hypercar now critical for energy. In is the number 50. Number 7 Toyota is in as well. 35 Alpine. Number 8 Toyota is due. They just don't want to double stack the cars. There's the number 15 BMW as well. The cars look strong here again. They just haven't quite had the luck of the green. Kamui Kobayashi in 4th place. Alessandro Pierguidi catching. Slower car in front of Kobayashi. Does he get held up off the Kemmel Straight? Yes, he does. And look at that. Alessandro Pierguidi fearlessly nails the throttle all the way through Eau Rouge and takes advantage. He moves up to 4th place. Well, as the fuel stops have shaken out, Ferrari up to 3rd and 4th. Peugeot versus Alpine, an all-French battle here. And look at this, out of La Source, the hairpin. Jules Gounon, only his 2nd drive in the Alpine. And Mikkel Jensen in the Peugeot, just squeaking in front. Looking back from Mikkel Jensen. Jules Gounon all over the back of the car. Most of Gounon's laps were in poor weather in Imola when he'd never driven the car before, now feeling a lot more confident, and doesn't it show? Cuts to the inside and follows through, using the Lexus to block off Mikkel Jensen. Battle for second place in LMGT3, and the yellow Iron Lynx Lamborghini moves up to second spot. Franck Pereira going ahead of Klaus Bachler in the Manthey Pure Racing Porsche. What a great run from the Iron Lynx Lambo. Oh, trouble for the BMW. Dries van Toor rally crossing his way around the exit of Les Combes. Inside the final 20 minutes, Callum Ilott leads. Kevin Estre on fresher tyres, making very little impression on the lead car. Estre in traffic for the moment, but it's a few hundreds here or there. Callum Ilott's left tyres are fresher, but Kevin's full set is stronger. United Autosports under pressure for the lead in LMGT3. Grégoire Saucy with Franck Pereira behind him. The Lamborghini looking down the inside. Is Iron Lynx going to win its first race in LMGT3? Look at the team. Here's the battle for fifth place. Kamui Kobayashi and, of course, Julian Andlau being braver than brave through Eau Rouge. Goodness me, what a race Andlau's been having in that Proton Porsche. Alex Riberas in the heart of racing Aston. This is the exit of Blanchimont, rally crossing across the broad gravel trap. Ooh, that's a big heart in the mouth moment. Oh, and aviating as well. That is rough on the Aston Martin and its driver.
Box for very short refueling. It'll be around 7 to 8 seconds refueling.
Okay, now box for a splash of fuel. It will be a super quick one, 4 seconds.
Both Lamborghinis in fuel trouble right at the end of the race. What a shame after such a strong performance from Iron Lynx and the Iron Dames. Manthey Pure EMA now leading in the final lap. As the number 60 car, Franck Pereira, comes in for the smallest of splashes. There is the Manthey race battle, final lap of the race. Klaus Bachler hanging on from Richie Leitz, but look at the energy for Manthey Pure Racing. He's got nothing left. He's almost on fumes. Manthey EMA up the inside to take the lead as the 92 car has to lift and coast. 91 goes by. The team applaud, and Olaf Manthey here in the garage to watch it. 12 months ago, Cota debuted their privateer Porsche, and now they become the first privateers to win in the hypercar class as Callum Ilott brings it to the checkered flag and victory in Spa.
Well done, my friend. Well done. P1. We are Cota, guys. We are Cota.
Well done. What a race! Well done.
What a race. What a result for Hertz Team Cota. The first team to field a privateer hypercar. A year later, they're the first to win with one. Was it worth staying for, fans? Yes, it was.
It's great, man. I mean, a year since we got the car, so that's very special. And the team just do such a fantastic job all the time. So we got a little bit lucky today with the red flag, obviously, but you create your own luck in this game, and Callum did a fantastic job at the end, keeping the gap. We knew we had an advantage, but obviously still a long race to go at the end. But so happy for us. Obviously, shame Norman's not here for this one, but for the team, it's a great reward for all the hard work they put in. So couldn't be happier.
Manthey EMA, 15th in LMGT3 in Qatar, 16th in Imola, winners in Spa.
Thank you, Richie. That's the win. That's 1-2 for Manthey. Thanks a lot. Thanks to the crew. Thanks to everyone.
What a reward for the faithful crowd who stayed almost to a man to the end. Nearly 8 hours for the 6-hour race here in Spa, and drama every minute of the way. Victorious Hertz Team Cota, Will Stevens and Callum Ilott. The first overall win for a British team in the World Endurance Championship. Hertz Team Cota take victory. Porsche lead the manufacturers' standings after another strong showing for them ahead of Ferrari. Confirmation of the result. Hertz Team Cota ahead of the number 6 Porsche Penske Motorsport car. Ferrari finishing 3rd and 4th. Manthey taking a 1-2 in LMGT3 with the Lamborghinis in 3rd and 4th positions. But it was a race of real attrition. 8 cars failed to make it to the checkered flag. That is it for a crazy, fabulous, fascinating 6 hours of Spa. Next time out, it's the big one, the jewel in the crown, the 24 du Mans, the Le Mans 24 hours. Who will come out on top? Only time will tell. Only Le Mans will decide. We'll see you there.